In this video, we're going to take a look at an introduction to expanding triple brackets. So here, let's say that we want to expand and simplify. So let's just write this down. So expand and simplify. Let's just write it up here. Let's say we've got x minus 1, x plus 3, and x plus 5. Okay. What I want to do now is take these three brackets here, expand them, and then simplify. Okay. So I'm going to show two methods in this video of how we can expand and simplify triple brackets. Let's take a look at method 1 here. Okay, and we'll do that on the left hand side here. So method 1. What I'm going to do to begin with here is just pick any of these two brackets. I'm going to expand those together using FOIL. Okay. Now it doesn't matter which of the two brackets we pick. It's completely up to you, but generally I like to work from left to right. I pick the first two brackets, expand those together, and then I work from there. Okay, so I'm going to expand now x minus 1 and x plus 3 together. So x minus 1 times x plus 3. So using FOIL here, if I multiply the first two terms together, I'm going to get x times x, which would be x squared. We get x squared to begin with. We then do x times positive 3, so that'll give me plus 3x. We then do minus 1 times x, that's minus x. And then finally minus 1 times 3, which gives us minus 3 there. Okay. So if I simplify this here, what I get then is x squared. 3x minus x would give us plus 2x. And I've got this minus 3 at the very end. Okay. So that should hopefully be nice and straightforward just to get us started. But what I've got here now is this quadratic. What I need to do now is multiply this quadratic here with the last bracket here, this x plus 5. Okay. We take our quadratic, x squared plus 2x minus 3, and we expand that with the last bracket here. So times that with x plus 5. So how do we do this here? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use different colours here just to highlight how we actually multiply these two brackets together now. We're not going to use FOIL or anything like that to multiply these two brackets together. What we're going to do now is go term by term in this first bracket here. So let's use a different colour to highlight this. So what I'm going to do then is start with the x squared here. And I take this x squared and I times it by x. And I take the x squared here and I times that by the positive 5 here. Okay, so x squared times x, that would give me x cubed. And then x squared times 5, that would give me plus 5x squared. Okay, so now if I use a different colour here for the next term, let's do this one in green. We've now got this 2x here. And I'm going to do 2x times x, that would give me 2x squared. And then we do 2x times positive 5. So 2x times positive 5, that will give me plus 10x. Okay, and then finally we just change our pen colour again here. Let's do it in red. So now I take the minus 3, the last term here, I times it by x here. So minus 3 times x, that would give us minus 3x. And then we do minus 3 times positive 5, which would give us minus 15 there. So what we've done there is we've expanded here, these three brackets, but now we need to simplify. So we just go back to the original pen colour here, to this blue colour. So if we expand and then simplify here, so now we just need to simplify. Well, I've got x cubed here. There's no other x cubed term, so that is just how it is. It's just going to be simply x cubed. I've got 5x squared plus 2x squared. So if you add those together, that would give me 7x squared. I've then got 10x minus 3x, that would give me plus 7x. And then finally we've got minus 15 here. There's no other numbers that I can add or subtract from this, so it's just simply going to be minus 15 there at the very end. Okay? And that would be our solution there. Okay, so that would typically get you 3 marks, and that would be your solution question done. So that's method 1. Okay? So we just line this off here. Just split this off. What I want to show now is another way of doing, or another method for expanding triple brackets. Let's take a look at this now. We'll call this method 2. We'll do this in a purple pen color. Okay. So again, the method starts the exact same. We've picked 2 of these brackets and we're going to expand these together. But what I'm going to do now is to expand, I'm going to use the grid method. Okay. If you're not too familiar with the grid method, all we do here is pick 2 of these brackets. So again, we'll choose the same 2 brackets. So x minus 1 times x plus 3. So in terms of the grid method, then this would be x and minus 1. And then down this side here, I'm going to get x and 3. We get x and 3 there. We box everything off. We now just need to multiply everything together. So x times x, that will give me x squared. X times minus 1, that will give me minus x. 3 times x, that will give me 3x. And then 3 times minus 1 would give me minus 3 there. Okay. Now the good thing about the grid method here, I'm going to use a different color just to highlight this here. Let's do it in orange. Is this diagonal allows us to easily simplify. Okay. So 3x minus x here, that would give me 2x. Okay. So what I've got here is x squared, 3x minus x, which is 2x, and minus 3. So we just write that down here. Again, I just do it in purple just so we can keep it consistent. I've got x squared plus 2x, so this diagonal here simplifies, plus 2x, and then finally minus 3. Okay? And again, what you'll notice here, up to now, everything matches, so that's fine. So what we do now is we take this quadratic here and multiply it by the last bracket, this x plus 5. And again, I'm going to do this now using the grid method. So along the top here, I'm going to get x squared, 2x, and minus 3. Got x squared, 2x, and minus 3. And then along this column here, we're going to get the x and the 5. Okay, for the last bracket, so x and 5. We just box everything off here, just so we can keep it somewhat neat. All we need to do now is just like we did for this one here, just multiply it across. So x times x squared would give me x cubed. X times 2x would give me 2x squared. X times minus 3 would give me minus 3x. 5 times x squared would give me 5x squared. 5 times 2x would give me 10x. And then finally, 5 times minus 3 would give me minus 15. And again here, the good thing about this grid is it allows us to easily simplify. So if I just change my pen color, again, we'll do this in orange. We just look for the diagonals now. So this diagonal here, that will simplify. And again, this diagonal here, if I just do it in a different color, let's do this one in light blue. Diagonal here will also simplify. Okay. What do we get left with here? Well, if I just do it underneath, we've got x cubed, 5x squared plus 2x squared, so that's 7x squared. 10x minus 3x, which is 7x. And then finally, we've got this minus 15 here. And there we have it. So that's our solution. Like you can see, it matches exactly the same here, what we got for the method 1. But it's up to you which method you pick here. You won't get penalized for either method. It's usually just a preference and which way you prefer. Okay. So there we have it. So that's our introduction to expanding triple brackets. So what we're going to do now is just take a look at one more practice question. So if we take a look at this question here, where we're asked to expand and simplify x plus 2 all squared multiplied by x minus 3. So the very first thing that I'm going to do here is just rewrite this. So rather than writing this as x plus 2 all squared, I'm going to write that as x plus 2 times by itself again. So it's going to be x plus 2. Let's just do it over here. We can write this as x plus 2 times x plus 2, and we times it by x minus 3. Okay. So to begin with here, we need to pick 2 of the brackets and expand those together. So multiply those together. It's up to you which two brackets that you pick, but like I said, I like to work from left to right. I'm going to pick these two brackets here to begin with, and I'm also going to use method 2 here to expand these triple brackets. But again, if you prefer method 1, that's absolutely fine. We should get the same solution as what I get, even though I'm using method 2. Okay, so if we expand these together here, let's just write this underneath, x plus 2 times x plus 2. Well, we're going to use the grid method to do this, so I'm going to get x and 2 here, and then x and 2. So we just line this off, and create our grid here. Okay, we'll get something that looks like this. Doesn't have to be, extremely neat. But now, what we need to do is find the multiplications here. So x times x would give me x squared. X times 2 would give me 2x. 2 times x would again give me 2x. And then finally 2 times 2 would give me 4 there. Okay. So what I've got here then is x squared. I've also got this 2x and this 2x here. Add those together, that will give me 4x. We've got x squared, 4x here along this diagonal. Then we've got plus 4. I've got this quadratic here now. So what I need to do is take this quadratic and multiply that with this last bracket here, this x minus 3. Okay. If we do that underneath, I've got x squared plus 4x plus 4. And we times that by x minus 3. So again, I'm going to use the grid method here to do this. So I've got enough room to do it underneath? We should have enough room. I've got x squared, I've got 4x, and I've got 4 along the top. And down the side here, we've got x and we've got minus 3. So I've got x here and minus 3. So again, just set up the grid here. Okay. So now what we need to do is find the multiplications here. So x times x squared would give me x cubed. X times 4x would give me 4x squared. And then x times 4 here would give me 4x. We've then got minus 3 times x squared, so that's minus 3x squared. We've then got minus 3 times 4x, that's minus 12x. And then finally, minus 3 times 4, which gives us minus 12 there. Okay. What I'm going to do here is just use a different pen color to highlight the diagonals. So this diagonal here will simplify. And this one here will also simplify. Okay. So now if we just simplify here, what I'm going to get then, I've got the x cubed here. We can't do anything with that. We just simply get x cubed. I've got minus 3x squared plus 4x squared, or in other words, 4x squared minus 3x squared. So that's just simply going to give me x squared. We've then got minus 12x plus 4x. That's going to be minus 8x. So minus 8x there. And then finally, minus 12. Okay. And there we have it. So that's our solution. So that's these three brackets here, expanded and simplified there, giving us our solution to that practice question. And that brings the end of this video on an introduction to expanding triple brackets. So in the next video, we're going to take a look at exam revision for expanding triple brackets.